Well, hello there. It's August 28th, about 6:25 p.m. We probably got about 2 hours of daylight left, and I figured we'd do a little bit of fishing today. So come along with me. We'll do a little bit of fishing. We'll crack open a cold one, see what we can catch. Now you saw me cast the lines in the water, and I went to record a little intro like I just did, and before I even could, one of my rods was going crazy. I suspect I'm missing a worm already. But if that's a sign of things to come, should be a good couple hours of fishing. But you know how fishing goes. There's a reason they don't call it catching, they call it fishing. But I'm glad you can come along with me today. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but I hear some choppers in the background. I suspect they are crop dusters of some sort, but I hear the choppers. I hear them coming. If I can get some good footage of one flying overhead, I will, so stick around. Anyway, we're here at the Hennepin Feeder Canal, maybe just 2 miles or so south and east of Tampico, Illinois, the birthplace of President Ronald Reagan. Now, when I was a young lad, growing up in Tampico, Illinois, Ronald Reagan was the president at the time. And we used to come out here fishing at the canal quite a bit. Yeah, I hear the choppers coming. But we were never, looking back, I always thought we would have been like amazed. Like, wow, look, a kid who was born in our town is the president. I don't think we put so much thought into that as, you know, it was the 1980s. We thought more about, wow, this is where the president was born at. There's probably a nuke aimed right at this town right now. Even though only 900 people live here, they're probably going to nuke us just because this is where the president was born. Anyway, let's get some fishing done. Yeah, I haven't even had time to crack my first beer open yet. And we've already been dewormed one worm. Quite a few nibbles here in just the first couple of minutes. Now today I'm using just night crawlers and pretty decent sized circle hooks. This spot here is well known for sheephead, also known as freshwater drum, but we're trying to catch catfish. Now sometimes those freshwater drum, around here we call them sheephead, they can take that bigger circle hook, but we might catch a couple of them. We might not catch anything. But like I said, we're after catfish, so let's see. We've already had a lot of action, a lot of nibbles. At least one worm stolen. I might have to check this second line to see if there's still a worm out there. Well, we've been here about 10-15 minutes already and haven't even cracked one open yet, so here we go. Let's hope these nibbles turn into bites and the bites turn into fish. Cheers. Well, I was messing around with the camera and had a nice nibble. I suspect what we have going on here is a couple little bait thieves. Fish that are too small to take this hook. But we're not after them. We're after larger prey. So we'll keep fishing. We'll keep waiting for the fish to do what fish do. We might have to switch things up and go to a half a worm for a hook instead of a full worm. Otherwise we're going to run out of worms. We'll see what happens. Well, I hooked into a nice stick bass. I lost a hook. I decided instead of just rehooking my line. I was going through so many worms with these bait stealers out here. I figured I'd go down to just one pole. Getting a lot of nibbles, no bites. We might get skunked. I don't know, I hope not. Anyway, hey, since we're not catching fish yet, and you know, about to crack into the second cold one, I figure we'd tell a little story. Now this story is for our, ooh, wait a minute. Could be some action on the line. Hang on. He almost got the whole worm. I don't know what's out there, but they are professional thieves. Now I could switch to a smaller hook and try to catch these bait thieves, but I'm not after them. I'm after, I'm hell-bent on a catfish. So we are gonna keep on keeping on with our circle hooks. And yeah, you can catch a catfish with a small hook. That's no problem. Well, we're doing it, man. We're in the thick of the action. One of these days, one of these freshwater drum sheephead are going to mess up and get hooked, and I'm going to reel them in too. So like I said, I want to tell a story. And this story is for our friends in the United Kingdom. England, Scotland, Wales. You see, a long time ago in the 1990s, I was a teenager. And I was at home one evening with my dad. My mom was at work. And she worked about an hour plus drive away at a hospital. She was a nurse, and she took care of premature babies. My mother was a saint. She's no longer with us. But when she was, while she was here on this earth, she was a saint. Took care of teeny tiny little babies, some 1.5 pound, 2 pound babies. And, you know, for better or worse, some of them were that small because the mother decided to do drugs while they were pregnant. And had a premature baby. Anyway, she worked up in a city called Rockford, Illinois. Pretty much the armpit of the state of Illinois. A hive of scum and villainy, you might say. And my dad got a phone call. It was my mom. She had gotten off her shift at work at the hospital and went out to the parking garage to get in the car, and there in the back seat there was a man. He'd broken into the car and was waiting for her. And we don't need to go into detail about what happened that day in that car, in that parking garage in Rockford, Illinois. But it wasn't good. Anyway, shortly after that incident, my mother took up knitting as a hobby. Yep, she loved to knit. Everywhere she went, she carried a pair of knitting needles and a ball of yarn. I can see the fish. Gosh, they're jumping right there. They're taunting me, these fish. Everywhere she went, she took knitting needles and a ball of yarn. In case, you know, the mood struck her fancy to begin knitting a set of mittens or a pot holder or something like that. Yep. She carried those knitting needles right in her purse with a ball of yarn. You see, I think my mother took a lesson from something my dad taught me. He said, son, if you're going to drive around with a baseball bat in your car, you should also have a baseball mitt and a baseball, just in case the authorities ask any questions about why you might have a baseball bat in your car. Now in England, in the UK, Scotland, Wales, England, you can't carry pepper spray, a stun gun, a pistol, a pew-pew, a taser, anything like that. Any edged thing you can't carry. It's against the law. You know, and it's sad that those people over there have no way to defend themselves. On the other hand, it's their fault for voting in turds that passed those kind of laws. But anyway, I just thought that my friends in the UK, if you have wives, daughters, mothers, grandmothers, sisters, that maybe they might like to be introduced to the world of knitting. It really is fantastic. What a great hobby. And you know, you can knit anywhere. Sitting on the park bench waiting for a bus, you can just take out your knitting needles. You can carry them and your ball of yarn along with them and just knit away. And if something were to happen where somebody might end up with a knitting needle in this eye and a knitting needle in that eye, hey, it's better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. You know, the things that are happening to people over there are horrible. You might have to take your lumps, but, you know, I'd rather take my lumps in the courtroom than a knitting needle jabbed through this ear and another one jabbed through that ear. So, anyway, that's my story. I hope my United Kingdom friends enjoyed it. Man, now that we've gone down to one pool, I haven't had any nibbles. The action has definitely slowed down, but we're looking for quality, not quantity. You know, I don't want to come out here and catch a bunch of garbage fish. I want to just catch one nice fish. And I only brought a dozen worms with, and I definitely did not want to run out of worms before my the time I allowed myself for this expired. And hey, I know this isn't my typical video. I've been trying to put out one video a week, and this week it's just, I just haven't felt it. And I didn't want to put out something, you know, half-assed or trashy. I figure, like I said, we could just come out here, have a beer, tell some fish stories, and just enjoy this 80-degree, low humidity day here in northwestern Illinois, not far from the birthplace of President Ronald Reagan, a true American hero. And if we catch a fish, great. It's the icing on the cake. If we don't, well, we can always try again some other time. Well, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, folks. Down to the wee twilight hours. It won't be long now till the sun sets. We're going to keep fishing. Man, we had a lot of nibbles very early on, but now it's really died down. But this is when the catfish come out. They come out at night. So, we'll see. I don't know. I hope to catch at least one fish. If not, I hope you still enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you enjoyed just coming along with me. Coming along fishing. Having a cold one. Sharing a story. Share a story with me down below in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Like I said, not the typical video I put out, but not the typical week I've had either. So, shit. Hang on.